Wouldn't it be amazing if we could get a place of our own out here?
Well, maybe we can.
How's that?
The 5-minute loan approval app from the Home Loan Expert makes it super easy to find out if you're approved for a home loan.
You've got a job to do, and we're here to make sure you get it done right. When you work with Ferguson HVAC, we'll make sure you get the equipment, parts, and supplies you need quickly. That way you can get in, get stocked, and get back to the work that really matters.
Yo, what up, Nashville? Friday edition, 3HL 1045 The Zone, broadcasting live from Radio Row in Los Angeles. Thanks to our good friends at Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, Nashville's only full-service salon, day spa, and gift boutique. Located in Cool Springs, USS, United Structural Systems. With more than 25 years of experience, homeowners trust USS. Coming up today, Chris Lowe about the Auburn situation. Sam Acho covers college football and the NFL for ESPN. Also played at Texas. Maybe get into a little Texas to the SEC talk. Todd Fuhrman talks about the Super Bowl from a betting perspective. Kevin Harlan might be the best national play-by-play guy on the radio that we've got now. Ramon Foster, Big Savagery.
Yeah.
From J. Martin Ramon, weekday morning, 6 to 10 on 104.5 The Zone. Trey Wingo. And if he rolls with some of the opinion he had about Tannehill yesterday when we were talking to him, off mic, that's going to be an interesting conversation coming up at 5 o'clock. Greg Cosell, we'll get into the X's and the O's of this matchup coming up on Sunday. And Mike Haynes, Hall of Fame cornerback, 46 career interceptions, had 8 his rookie season. Welcome to the NFL, young Buck.
Wow.
Speaking of Buck, I haven't seen Buck today.
I saw him.
Oh, there's Don Davenport. Hey, Don.
Hi.
You saw him?
I did. I saw him in the street walking.
You saw him in the street, huh?
We crossed paths as he was done with his show heading back, and I was heading over to Radio Row. He had on that sweatshirt.
That he gets made fun of.
That he gets made fun of. What is it, like a peach color?
The peach, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's ready.
Hey, what up?
Hey, I'm in the building. Best believe
He think he ain't got no roof behind him.
Ready. I'm in the building.
Hang on the roof!
Time for
He can't be lying to me. I don't even need no mic.
That
I'll
guy's
go over
from
and
San
take their whole
Francisco.
little show over in little San Francisco from the Bay. Tell them about the Bay. You know what I mean? Nashville, we in the building. What's up?
Hi, Slay.
Hey,
Did
live
you
and direct.
Did you see Buck Rising today?
I did. I caught a little bit of his show today. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, caught my guy's show. I woke up, then went back to sleep on him. As I do.
compelling radio.
That's right.
The Friday edition. So we've got a lot for you today. We'll be heading back to Nashville. We'll be back in the Ville doing the show live in studio on Monday. So looking forward to that.
Valentine's Day.
Big weekend.
Hopefully talking about a close game.
Wait. What?
Monday, Valentine's Day. Ain't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Moment's
Hey,
Peace. Yeah,
I was going to say, we talk about all of our fabulous sponsors that we talk about often. They can save you.
Yes,
Moments
they can.
Peace and
I'll be there.
Artisan Custom Closets.
Bright
and
and early.
Brentwood Jewelry and take them to Strikeout.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
seriously.
Good wings.
Preds.
Kirby's
Yeah.
advice.
Don't screw it up. That's
We
my
should-
advice.
We should have done a
That's good
segment with
advice.
Kirby and have people call in asking for Valentine's Day advice and let Kirby figure it out for him.
Oh, my gosh.
You can do it Monday.
We
can
could
do
do
it
it Monday.
It ain't never too late.
I know what they shouldn't do. My first year of marriage.
Jeez. Oh, God.
No joke. I'm getting my hair cut by a coworker in her kitchen, and
Wait.
In her.
You can't just start with that.
Okay,
I was getting my hair cut by a coworker in her kitchen.
Yeah, a friend of mine.
all
And
wrong. It's all wrong.
her neighbor comes over
And her neighbor comes over.
and says, "Hey, what? You know, we're sitting there talking and everything." And she goes, "So, what do you got going on later?" I'm like, "I'm going to go home and blah blah blah." She goes, "Well, your wife must be really understanding." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You're at another lady's house getting your hair cut on Valentine's Day," and my blood pressure just went, "Whoa! Wrap this up. I got to go to the store."
So your advice to the people is
make
on
plans
Valentine's
ahead of time.
Day, do not get your hair cut
As-
by a female friend in her kitchen.
Right, you make
With the neighbor coming over.
take care of your plans beforehand. Do not wait till the last minute.
But
and
think
do
of
not
it this way.
do not forget.
If you were not doing that, you would have forgotten.
Sure would have.
Oh,
And
completely been
she
in
would have
trouble.
known
Oh, yeah.
that you had nothing. So actually,
Well, the other
it
side,
was,
of that, the other side
it
of
was
that
a
coin.
plus.
The other side of that coin. 11 years later, on Valentine's Day, I caught her cheating.
Okay.
Damn.
And got a divorce.
Hey,
You got divorced because you caught her cheating on Valentine's Day?
Well,
Oh
I
my
won't go into
gosh.
Find out
I
about
thought
it
you
on
were
I found out about it. I didn't
Macaroni
physically
Kirby.
catch them. It wasn't like that.
She wasn't in the
I would
kitchen
be
with her
behind bars,
barber.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
but no, seriously, yes. Found out that something else was going on and was divorced about 90 days later.
It wasn't making the baked beans, huh, Kirby?
I don't
It was a
Took
weird.
90 days, huh?
Here's the thing. Well, yeah, the legal system, you have to wait and all that kind of stuff. I had gotten a phone call, and she was complaining about the fact that I was
Legal
working
system and
yet
all that
again
kind of
on a
stuff.
Valentine's Day.
By the way, Kirby has not been to sleep since
And
yesterday.
so I felt bad.
It's showing.
I had roses in the car already and some balloons, and I stopped and bought an extra set of balloons and thought, I'm going to go ahead and go on home. I can do this stuff later. And because of the balloons, I'd come in through the back of the house, and I'm coming upstairs with them to surprise her, and one of the steps creaked. And when it did, I heard an expletive and a phone hang up. And she's doing stuff, and you could tell that nervous energy, and I just looked over the phone cord swinging and walked over and just *67. Dude answers, goes, false alarm. I'm like, oh, no, I'm home. And hung back up. Packed my stuff and moved over to my cousin's house.
Oh,
Kirby!
Hey, that's just another chapter in the book that is.
The Book of Kirby.
Holy cow.
God,
This is
how
the
long
most
have I-
unexpected
Hello,
way
Tim.
to start our Radio Row Friday show
Pre-Valentine's Day.
End of Radio Row.
at the
So-
Super Bowl.
How long have we
What
known
in
each
the
other? And I've
actual
never
heck?
heard.
I've known
any of
you
that.
since, what, 96, 95? No, we bought the thing in
97. I
98.
started in 97.
Yeah, but I met you like a few minutes
And
later.
you had
'cause we
never
both-
heard this story?
Nope. Neither one of them.
Star
Well, this
6
isn't something you know.
Yeah, it's not like
But it's
you-
Valentine's Day.
Tell him the story on Kirby.
It's
Star
Valentine's Day. I
67.
hadn't had any sleep. The filter's gone. I don't
Star
care now.
67 was an underrated
Oh, yeah.
tool, man.
I hated that. I wouldn't ask.
Yeah.
Star 69 was a underrated tool too.
Well, that was the and then there was the redial
That's the
thing
redial.
too.
Yeah, you can get the number.
Star 68 was the forward.
Man,
So was.
the kids out there have no idea
They
what the
got a
heck
clue.
we're talking about.
They ain't got a clue.
Rotary
Look at Will.
fans.
Look at Will.
So-
No, I know.
Couple of games coming up, obviously, this weekend. One is the Super Bowl.
I mean,
Yeah.
how do we move on from this?
That's tough.
I don't even know what
mean,
to say.
Everybody's got stories, man. Here's what we do on
Everybody's
3
got
and 2.
Kirby
We
just
just
needs to write a book.
we drag stories out of people. That's what we do.
We didn't have to drag crap out of Kirby. We just got it.
We disarmed Kirby, and then
How you make the vomit noise?
Huh.
It just came out.
This is Kirby and his Valentine's Day story. Huh.
Do you still know her and that guy?
Oh,
Well,
From back in the day?
you have a child with her, right?
I have 2 children with her.
There.
Yeah, she married him. He passed away in 2020.
Oh, okay.
She
I mean,
married
and
him.
I don't know whether cry.
yeah, I still
laugh.
know her. I was married to her. so.
Does
Sad.
that make
Well,
it
I'm-
better?
No, it doesn't. Because
Okay.
he was a very good
I'll live-
stepdad. But I mean,
Oh
it's a
my
thing.
gosh.
It's a
Okay.
thing, Tony.
The guy.
Good
You know.
job, Hunk. Hunk on it.
Yeah.
Hunk on it this morning. I mean, this evening. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. You just told him Chris Lowe's at 128, which is actually 328 Hunks time. So
Don't even,
I will
listen.
say-
Don't pay no attention to me. How about that?
Let me say this, and Slay, you lived here in LA for a while. I could not I could not do this time zone.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
different.
I'm missing
Missing it, yeah.
everything. I feel like I'm late.
Yeah. Well,
like-
I'm getting like a replay of
Yeah.
stuff and news that's broken like
Yeah.
3 hours ago when I
Yeah.
wake up.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't live
like
this
the
life.
Big
It's
Ten game
rough.
of the week would start at 9 in the morning.
Like
Yeah.
I can't.
You know what the good thing is,
How
though?
crazy is that?
Like when the Lakers were in the finals and things like that, like the games on the East Coast would come on at like 8. But out here, it'd be 5, 4 o'clock in the game. So after the game, the Lakers win, the town is lit.
Oh yeah, there's.
You know what I'm saying? There's plenty
can
to
see
do, but the
that.
Lakers lose. Oh, boy, you ain't never seen. If the Titans think that fan base was sad after that loss, you ain't seen a fan base sad, a city sad, until LA loses a game they're supposed to win. Oh my gosh, it's hey man, you
Is
see how
it
busy
just
it is.
basketball? It's not. I mean,
No,
is
it's just
it-
basketball.
it's not.
No,
Yeah.
it's just
It's
the
not
Lakers.
Rams.
No, it's just the Lakers. No, they'll still go part after.
Dodgers too.
Right. Now
But
they're
the Rams
supposed
don't
to
win,
win
though.
this one on
Yeah,
Sunday.
they are. There might be a little bit more to it this time around, but
But if you
It's-
look on paper, just paper,
yeah,
and I know the game ain't played on paper.
correct.
There's not a matchup where you feel more confident in the Bengals than you do the Rams.
You're right. You're right, Babs. You're right.
Did you have fun last night?
I did have a good time, man. I went to the Bel Air premiere, and hey,
Your pictures were phenomenal.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. In our time growing up, a lot of reboots aren't good. This one right here, they did it, man. They
Is
put
it
their
good?
own twist. It's really good. I'm gonna be real. And
So
when I
it's
saw the
a
preview,
reboot.
I didn't like
Is
it.
it a movie or
No,
it's
series.
a show?
It's a series.
It's a series.
Yep.
Okay.
Coming on Peacock. So I don't like reboots. Like I would hate for them to try to do Martin or something like that. But this right here, because they put their own twist on it, they
It
got
was
this
good?
one right. Yeah, they got it right. I'm gonna be
You
honest.
got to hang in the mansion. They
I know. Were you in the
shot it
hills last
and
night?
it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I really can't tell you where I was. I just know I was in Sherman Oaks. You had to get dropped off, take the COVID test, then get shuttled to an undisclosed
Lord.
location. Yeah, I had to swab my nose 10 times.
So does that mean you didn't have to wear a mask at all, at least?
No, you still had to wear the mask in the house.
That is
Outside,
such a
you didn't.
joke.
But after a couple of drinks,
You all
nobody
just
had it on.
tested negative, and you
Right. To
still
get
have
here.
to wear
yeah,
a mask.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, listen.
But you can take it off to drink.
No, and you can take it off after 2 or 3 drinks. It don't matter. Ain't nobody worth tapping you on the shoulder and say, put it back on, put it back on. Then they ended the whole show
You all tested
with
negative.
Jada Kiss.
Oh.
It was cold-blooded.
That's fun.
It was dope, man.
That was an
Really dope
unexpected
experience.
text.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, me, Don, and Will Bowling went out to Santa Monica last night and had dinner. Had to go see the water.
Yes.
Nothing like the pier.
Great dinner. Ran
It
into a
was-
Titans player. That was interesting. Just yelled out his name, and he's like, "Do I turn around? Do I turn around?"
I really don't know if I want to turn around.
But he did. We had a good conversation. So anyway, and then we went down the pier, but it was closing. So a police car was like, "Please remove yourself from the pier."
Oh, yeah. They'll get you on out of there now when it closes.
But Dawn had some like weird cotton candy that affected her. I don't know what happened.
You think it was laced with something?
Laced.
You think something was in it at Santa Monica?
Hey, you never know down there, man.
They didn't
I know you can
say
go.
that
You can get
it
some
had
medicinal
anything
cards
in
down
it,
there in
but it's-
15 minutes. I
Wow.
don't know if you're supposed to say that,
I don't know, but I had grape.
but you can't.
Grape
All right.
cotton
Yeah,
candy.
3HL coming up. There you go. There are all of our stories for
Holy
today.
moly.
Let's roll,
So
baby.
when we come back, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. Chris Lowe will join us to talk about the Auburn situation. Man, they've always got something going on down there.
Oh,
It's
do they?
hilarious.
They always have something going
That's
down.
what I'm talking
Like,
about,
this
man.
is the
Yeah,
first
man.
time.
I started going, Chiswick gets fired 2 years after a national title. They tried to run Gus off like 3 times before they got it done.
I know, and then finally got it done.
And then Harsin, you mentioned, Tommy Tuberville, too. I'm
Tommy
like, yeah.
Tuberville, too.
Kirby out there with Jamie Foxx.
Chris Lowe
Come
coming up.
coach Auburn.
3HL next as
Let's
Slay
go.
sits on the misery couch on 104.5 The Zone.
Waiting on
I could use some coffee. I didn't know you. Oh yeah. I forgot. Starbucks. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Radio Row.
You forgot my incident.
Yes. Multiples.
Multiple
incidents.
You know, I feel a little guilty.
About what?
If I leave L.A. without getting Roscoe's chicken and waffles, I'm like, this ain't really me.
I've never had Roscoe's chicken and
Well,
waffles.
Do they
really
have
had
one at
life.
the airport?
No.
Oh.
I think they do have one bad. I need to call my people.
Do they have an In-N-Out at the airport?
I ate In-N-Out last night.
I
checked
know.
that one
I haven't
off
had
my list.
that yet.
They
I mean,
do
I've
got
had
one
it
close,
before.
though. They got one close. They do
Yeah,
got
but we're
one
in an
close.
Uber. It's not like.
Man,
hey,
we make Uber do whatever we need Uber to do.
See, that's how I get my grade downgraded.
This is how, yes.
What?
Brent always does like the Uber for all of us, and then we're in the wrong spot or we're late or whatever, and then his rating goes down and he gets
I'm
pissed.
4.85. I can't.
I do it.
I can't live at 4.85.
I do it. I don't
It's
care.
a real thing, though.
Yeah, I don't care.
It happens every trip we take.
Man, we
What's
gotta
your
eat good,
What's your
man.
Uber rating?
Probably about a cold-blooded.
What's yours, Kirby? 5.
Cold-blooded.
he says.
A 5. Let me
Perfect
tell you.
5.
Well, first of all, let me just say,
Will Bowling is a 4.46.
I'm
4.46.
I'm barbecuing
Oh,
him.
that's pretty bad. Well,
I'm barbecuing him. Boom, boom, boom.
you
Ooh, you see that? Don't act like you don't see it. It ain't hard to read.
4.9 for Slay.
Boom. How can you get?
So Will Bowling says his is 4.46 because somebody threw up in an Uber.
So we
with
need
him.
to let him take the dive then, since he already down
he's
there.
already down.
Yeah,
Yours has to
high.
be really low.
Your casualty.
Mine
Will.
is 4.94.
No, Babs, no, see, listen,
How's
y'all.
that even possible?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, all listeners, listen.
You have to ridicule the Uber driver
No.
like every time you're in the car, don't
no,
you?
Mayor. Listen, this is what I'm telling y'all.
You should have gone that way.
Because of the
I
couch
have
that
said
she's
that
sitting
before.
on, she don't want to be below me. But what she's not understanding, Babs, it's not a 0.4 on there nowhere.
4.94.
No, Babs.
Yeah.
That's what mine is.
Kirby is 5 point, but you've only had 27
Yeah,
drives.
come on, you ain't even went nowhere, Kirby.
Will is 4.64.
I
I'm
will
4,
say-
I'm
How y'all getting
4.85.
these 6.4s and stuff like that?
Oh,
What are you
4.6.
watching?
I'm
What are you
4.9.
looking at?
That's his weird
Yeah,
phone.
so I have the best rating out of everybody's. Well,
Babsy.
not Kirby. Kirby doesn't count.
Babs competitive
with a
edge
minimum
just
of
kicked in
30
so much.
with a
It's
minimum
crazy.
of 30 rides, you have the best. That would have got like if we'd have put that out on a poll, you would have come in
We
last,
should have.
I would have come in last.
and you won.
How many trips
I
I
will
got?
say I saw my. I
you
can't
say.
believe I'm about to tell this story. I saw my rating go down. It was my roommate at the time, who shall remain nameless. It was her birthday night, one of her birthday nights. It was when she lived with me when we both were going through divorces. So you can just imagine.
2 divorced women in one house.
Right, yes. So our conversation home from multiple bars at about 3 o'clock in the morning was went towards you remember that song Goodbye Earl?
Yes. Dixie Chicks.
Yes. Like Earl had to die.
Yeah.
So it was just, and it was just like an honest conversation about like if you had to kill somebody,
Man, listen to our stories are today. Kirby
who
almost
would
had
it
to.
be and why? Like, who would you help bury a body for, kind of thing? And I think that our Uber driver was terrified of that conversation. And I did notice the next day that my Uber rating
See,
Had dropped.
had dropped quite a bit. So,
good for them. I would have been
So,
a little
yeah.
shook too, Babs.
I mean, it was just like an honest, like,
Well, I know-
hypothetical.
I know who that friend was, and I would be terrified.
Wow. It is wild in here today.
All right.
Okay.
Lock the door.
Chris Lowe coming up. Real quick,
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk
4-point
sports.
spread in this game. I know you like the Rams.
Yeah.
But do you like the Rams and the 4?
So, what I'm going to do, as soon as we get back into the Tennessee border, inside that border state, I'm going to put a bet on it.
So
And
your answer is yes.
I do like it. And matter of fact,
Four's a
if
lot
it's
of
not
points
to my liking,
in a
it
Super
is Super Bowl. Yeah, and if it's not to my liking, though, guess what?
What?
I'm going to put a little more on it. I'm willing to go up to 6 now. Because I honestly feel like
Jeez.
I honestly feel like at this point right here, the magic carpet ride is over. Coach Mack said it. They on the magic carpet ride. Like, at some point, man, the magic got to run out. Like even Cinderella had to go home, man, and she was having a blast. You know what I'm saying? Like you imagine that cart that she was in, dog, and then she pop out and it's a pumpkin. They pumpkin about to pull out on her. That's all it is. They'll be riding the pumpkin all the way back to Cincinnati on this. LA at home, so
I
it
don't know
don't
if
matter.
I could go more.
I don't think the home matters.
I don't think
I
I'd
think
go
it matters on
higher
this.
than my Uber
You're
rating.
right. Sorry.
You can't go any higher than your Uber rating.
I don't think so.
That's got to be the
Chris,
line.
That's the line.
Chris Lowe joins us on 3HL. Chris, what's up? How are you?
See,
Sounds like you guys are having a big time out on the left coast.
We're all hot messes, Chris. You know, kind of
It's
like
the end of
my
the week.
alma mater.
Yeah. So, Chris? What's going on? I mean, it looks like. I mean, Coach Harson's going to be back. He's going to make it to the 2022 season. So, I'm guessing one of two things happened. They couldn't find cause, or boosters organized a smear campaign to take Harson down, and it didn't take. Is it one of those two things?
Well, I mean, if I had a dollar for every time I've been asked what's really going on, I'd be up there in Slave's tax bracket.
I did something.
I mean, because I don't know that I can answer that question. I mean, what's going on is, yeah, I mean, they didn't, they prominent boosters, the old guard, the power brokers. I don't think they wanted Brian Harson from the get-go.
Yeah.
And they got him because Alan Green was empowered by who's now the outgoing president, Jay Gooch, to go make his own hire. They bring in Harson, who was seen as an odd fit. I mean, and I think Brian is a really good football coach, and I think it's not fair to ever assess anybody after 1 year. But there are real concerns about recruiting in the SEC. Could he go toe-to-toe with Saban and Smart? And they didn't have a great recruiting class this year. And of course, the season didn't go well. There was 5 in a row, and is there a way to get him for cause, to get some of these allegations and complaints from outgoing coaches and players? And so that let's sit down and see what's there. And, who knows? Maybe we get him for cause and don't have to pay him $18.3 million. Well, as they dug into it, nothing rose to the level of firing a guy from cause. Meanwhile, he's out there in limbo for a week and on vacation, and nobody knows anything. He can't get any answers before he goes on vacation about hiring assistants. It's just one big cluster. And now here we are. He's back. And, the thing is, if they decide to fire him in December, let's say they have another so-so season and there's a new president coming in, keep that in mind. But if they fire Brian in December, they're still going to owe him almost $15 million.
Oh.
So it's not like it goes from $18 million to $6 million. It goes to just under $15 million. So I think some things got to change. He said that to me when I talked to him last week. They got to figure out a way to finally get a line there at Auburn. The way that they've been able to do at Georgia, the way they've been able to do at Alabama, and the way that Tennessee's trying to get that going at Tennessee, but they haven't been aligned. I guess you could say, Dawn, you may know this better than me, but have they truly been aligned when it comes to football since Coach Dye quit coaching in 1992?
Nope. We were just talking about how, you remember they went behind Tuberville's back. Get rid of him.
Chiswick.
Chiswick.
Malzahn.
I mean, Malzahn took he hung in 3 years while people behind the scenes were trying to get him fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fired Gene Chiswick 2 years after he won a national title. Think of this. So look at it this way: ever since Pat Dye, there's really been some degree of meddling with every coach, and all 4 coaches, full-time coaches since Dye, prior to Brian Harsin, have either won a national title, played for a national title, or had an unbeaten season. Because I think Terry Bowden and Tuberville both had unbeaten seasons.
Jeez.
That's crazy, man. That's
So-
crazy to think about.
Let me ask you this, Chris. And I did work the Auburn spring game with Coach Harsin last spring. So right when he kind of got there, and I went early and spent a couple days around practice and around the staff and all of that because I wanted to see, what it was like there. So I got a little bit of a taste of Coach Harsin's personality, right? But what is your take on certain players coming out for him, certain players coming out against him, certain staff members saying he's difficult to work with. There's just so much on every single side, right? What are you hearing? What's your take? And can they move forward?
Well, they don't have any choice because, they made the decision to keep him. So, they better work with what they've got. Yes, I've heard from some coaches and some people close to the program that he can be difficult. And that maybe he does have to change the way he relates to players and talks to players and coaches. And that doesn't mean you're kissing everybody's butt, pardon my French, but coaching in the SEC, coaching kids in the SEC is a little bit different than coaching kids for boys. But that said, and I want to be clear on this, every coach that comes into a situation when there's a transition, there's always that weeding out process. You got to get, you want to establish your culture. Some kids aren't going to buy in, so, you wave bye-bye. You bring in guys you feel like are going to buy into what you want to do. It's rarely an easy transition. Nick Saban lost, 6 games his first year? Mm-hmm. And, oh, by the way,
La Tech,
when it comes in the realm of treating people, I should say treating people right, but being easygoing and lovey-dovey, Nick Saban's not just a teddy bear to be around, okay? Ask some of his players. Mm-hmm. So, I think some of that's a little bit revisionist history. I don't think Brian Harsin is to sit around and yuck it up. You've got the coaches now that are, sort of, what do you call them, coaches, players coaches, guys that, are just always there. Again, sort of not having a good time, but players feel like that they're sort of more on a level with them. Brian Harsin's a buttoned-up, intense football coach who has an approach and a way he wants to do things, and maybe he does need to change a little bit. But I think it's just not fair, no matter what side of the debate you're on, to look at Brian Harsin or any coach after 1 year and say this guy cannot get it done.
Yeah.
Man, CeeLo, golly. So you've been around a lot of programs, man, and you've seen when coaches are treated a certain way, then they got to be kind of like Fredo in The Godfather, looking over their shoulder when they've been sent out to Vegas, just waiting on
don't get in the boat.
Yeah, just waiting on Michael to tell him, Fredo, I love you.
It's gonna happen.
And so it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? So like, how do you coach like that, and then how do you go and get the players on your side, which I think Harsin's going to do. I think that's who he is as a coach, because he'll be able to go get his own guys. But then be able to walk in there with the alumni or the boosters or whoever it is that's calling the shots and still hold your head high, man. Like, knowing that, dude, they waiting on one person, one coach to slip up or whatever it may be so they can have calls. How do you operate like that?
It's hard. They've cut him off the knees.
Yeah.
Play. It's, now how do you go recruit? He's still got to hire an offensive coordinator.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
If you're an OC right now, are you going to jump into that situation?
Hell no.
Somebody will, but that's going to be hard.
Yeah, somebody will. They're going to pay a lot of money. It's Auburn, it's the SEC.
Yeah.
And is it his guy or is it the boosters guy that they get to go take the job?
And I think that's part of what's got to change. And it's probably on Brian to doing a better job of trying to get to know some of those people. And not necessarily be a guy that's going to be hanging out at the country club playing golf with him every day or saying, hey, we're going to – these are the first 10 plays we're going to run the football game this weekend. But just make an effort. Auburn's a different kind of place. Dark can fill you guys in, as are a lot of SEC locales. But he's still got to do it the way he feels comfortable doing it. He's got to recruit his kind of guys. And I think there's going to take change on both sides if he's going to have any chance. I'll say this. Auburn, still to me, one of the best places in all college football to be a part of. The fan base, the tradition. They've had a lot of success in the last decade or so, despite all this dysfunction. Chiswick won a national title in 10. Gus Malzahn played for one in 13. Malzahn back in the SEC championship game in 17. And if they win that game, remember they just beat Georgia and Bama
Yeah.
In fact, that week, if they win that game in 17, they're in the playoff with a chance to play for another national title. So it could be done. Different coaches have shown it can be done. I don't think we've got enough body of work to say definitively that Brian Harsin can't get it done.
Great stuff, Chris. Always appreciate the visit, my friend. Tough subject. Appreciate it.
You guys have fun out there in Cali.
We will do it.
Thanks,
Lowe ESPN. When we come back, Sam Acho covers college football in the NFL for ESPN, and he played at Texas. We'll get into Texas to the SEC with Sam Acho next on 104.5 The Zone.
You've got a job to do, and we're here to make sure you get it done right. When you work with Ferguson HVAC, we'll make sure you get the equipment, parts, and supplies you need quickly. That way you can get in, get stocked, and get back to the work that really matters.
It's been a fun trip down here. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you miss any interviews, check out the podcast section of the website, 1045thezone.com, and get it done there. You will definitely want to hear some of those conversations. People have really opened up this week. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, without question. I think you put them in an environment like this, and I think it's difficult in an environment like this. So, you know what? I'm going to pat us on the back.
Might as well.
I think we got guys to open up. Yeah, man. But you know what was weird? The Old Spice guy just came out with a bathrobe on.
Is that right?
Yeah, but then he went back in. I wonder, was he fully clothed?
He should go back in.
It could get weird in here.
Could get weird.
The Old Spice guy.
What
if he comes
no, but in all seriousness, people will tell us great interview or whatever.
Yeah.
But really, the interview is only good if the interviewee is accepting to opening up a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe the best example of that this week was Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
So if you missed that one, definitely go back and because you might have this view of Pac-Man and you might have a different view. Yeah, and you sat right next to him.
Yep.
You might have a different view when you go back and listen to the podcast. So get that done, 1045thezone.com. Rate, review, subscribe. Get the 3HL podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Our Radio Row coverage brought to you by Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, Nashville's only full-service salon, day spa, and gift boutique located in Cool Springs. And USS, United Structural Systems, with more than 25 years of experience. Homeowners trust USS. I think Sam Acho got delayed a little bit. We'll try to get him in here, but if we can't make it work, we'll get him on at some point because I do want to talk with him about Texas moving to the SEC. Obviously NFL topics as well, but he played there.
Yeah.
So I would love to get his take on that. NFL honors last night going on here in L.A., and Mike Vrabel got what he deserved. Coach of the year.
Yeah. It wasn't even close either.
Wasn't close.
Oh, was the landslide almost?
Yeah.
We were at dinner, and you read the votes, and what was it, like 36-8 or something?
Yeah.
First to second? Somewhere in there?
Yeah, it was interesting because I felt like there was a lot of talk of, I'll try and find the exact numbers, but yeah, and we have said it the whole time that it's well deserved for him. You played 91 players, and every single person that's come over to your point, national talking heads, whatever, they have all said Mike Vrabel's the coach of the year.
Yeah,
it's not even close, and that's exactly what the voting showed. So.
MVP Aaron Rodgers. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. NFL Hall of Fame, Tony Pacelli finally gets in, and well-deserved. Great offensive lineman for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he, unfortunately, was on that Jags. Well, unfortunately for him, not for Titans fans, was on that Jacksonville team that lost 3 games to the Titans.
Right.
And they were undefeated the rest of the way against everybody else in '99. Leroy Butler, the safety out of Florida State, played in Green Bay. Linebacker Sam Mills, posthumously added to the Hall of Fame. Defensive lineman Richard Seymour. Defensive tackle Bryant Young. Senior inductee, wide receiver Cliff Branch. Coach inductee Dick Vermeil. Sam Acho walking over to the table as we speak. When we come, next segment will be Todd Fuhrman. So we'll get his take and then on the Super Bowl. And then we'll talk with Kevin Harlan coming up in the next hour as well. Sam, you good? You with us?
I'm here.
There he is.
Good. I'm with you all.
Hi.
He's in the building.
In the building. No, we did a game together not too long ago.
We did. We did the Texas spring game,
We did.
as a matter of fact.
We did.
I will say this, though. Let me just complain a little
Ruh-roh.
So we were both.
Sam, what?
It's too high for him, Kirby. Turn it down.
Sam, what'd you do? She's all leaned back now.
I know. I'm like, I don't need to get comfortable because Donna's a little bit too comfortable. And she hasn't told me any about what she's about to say.
Well, so
first of all, I'm sorry.
We were both on the field.
It wasn't my fault.
Yes.
Oh, I know
we
where
were
she's going
both
with
on the
this.
field. Well, I was tethered. So I didn't get to walk around and walk in the benches and listen to Coach like he did. Now
it was my first game.
Right.
I didn't even know what tethered meant.
Yes.
You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
like, hold on. Why are you in the middle of the field, Acho? And
Hey,
you're like, well,
I
this is
was
just
like-
where I go.
I was like
I'm
right behind the
"Aw."
coach. I didn't even care. I was like, hey, whatever they would let me do, I did.
Yes.
Presidential treatment.
Now,
baby.
he's a Texas guy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I understand you got to take care of your own. So we're going to talk about Texas
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it was interesting, too. Obviously, SEC girl, SEC guys, we're in Nashville. It's SEC country. Texas now joining the SEC. What is the talk within the fan base, alum, and all of that on this move first?
Fear. Fear is a good word.
Come on, man.
No. I mean,
everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, in all reality, I mean, Texas has struggled for a decade.
Yeah.
If we're just being real. And then even this year, have a new coach, and you still struggled. And so I think Sark is getting the team ready for the SEC. Right? One thing he said after early in the season, he said, you can't be afraid to be the bad guy. They went to Arkansas, and they kind of were shell-shocked, right? Don't be afraid. You're going to be the bad guy. I remember when I was at Texas, right? We went to the national championship, and we, played in the Fiesta Bowl and won the Fiesta Bowl, played in the Holiday Bowl, all these things. You can't be afraid to be the bad guy. And so I think what Sark is trying to build is a bully. That's what he's trying to build. Now, there might be people who haven't understood that mindset. That's why you've seen over 30 transfers, over 30 new people in that program, because he's building the bully. He was at Alabama for a couple years, so he gets what it's like to be in the SEC. He coached in the NFL. And so that's the change that's happening. I'm actually glad that Texas isn't going in the SEC this year. It might be a couple years, because it'll give them time to understand what it's like to be the bully.
Because you have to recruit differently, right? Like
Absolutely.
you recruit differently to play the Pac-12 schedule. I mean, the Big 12 schedule as opposed to an SEC schedule.
Absolutely.
And that's a great point. So now you have more time to get more of those guys.
And that's the first thing that he said when we were at the spring game, Don. We were there together, and he talked about the players need to look different. Defensive line, we need them to look different. And he just came from Alabama, so he knows what real defensive linemen look like. So, and Texas has some guys, right? Keandre Coburn is one of those guys. Like, they got some guys. Tavondre Sweat is one of those guys. But you need more than just the first, Moro Ojimo. They have guys, but you need more guys. That's the thing.
When you talk about guys looking like they belong in the SEC, it is a different look. And then your time when you were playing in Texas, you guys had a different look. I knew your strength coach, Mad Dog. He was a different type of animal, and that's what they got to get. So it's going to take a lot more than just the staff. It's going to take everybody to get these guys engulfed in what the SEC is.
Yeah, and it's really recruiting, because all these, quote, SEC – I'm putting it in quotes for y'all, because I'm not an SEC person.
That's it, huh?
And I will never be.
I
will never be.
You and Danny can
convert you, man.
Be now.
Don, I will never be.
Your school is now
No, all right.
an SEC.
Because when I was playing, we were the. No, Don, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to fall into this whole SEC trap. This SEC, dare I say, bias? Can I like throw fire SEC? No, I see got people agree. SEC is bias. No, I'm kidding. So here's why.
We got to get you and Danny Cannell on at the same time.
Oh,
all of y'all's quote unquote SEC talent. Where'd they come from? A lot of them from Texas.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
I know. Texas can't keep them.
Texas A&M, right? Texas A&M, number one recruiting class. And so, but why? So they can compete against the SEC.
Yeah.
And so I think the talent is there.
Yeah.
You need to keep the talent.
Yeah.
You need to coach the talent. You need to recruit the talent, right? The talent is there. Don't have them go to, specifically you're talking about Texas, a lot of them are going to A&M. That's why A&M has the number one recruiting class. And so, anyways, recruit differently, coach differently, and then your mindset has to change and say, you know what, I don't care if they hate me, if they boo me. That's what they talked about. A lot of the players were shell-shocked. You walk in Arkansas, remember the Big 8, there's a big rivalry. They hate it. Like Jerry Jones still doesn't like Texas players. He's an Alabama captain, all these things, right? And so that mindset has to change.
Yeah.
Like that horns down is okay. You're going to see it everywhere in the SEC, right?
I'm going to leave now. Don just did the horns down in my heart.
Oh, no, I was just like
You're still doing it, Don. You're still doing it, Don. Everything was good.
See, what I love about that, listen, I'm a UT grad, man, and I don't have to take a dig at you because she's doing it. And Ramon Foster told me to tell you hello also.
Okay, so you say you're a UT, the fake UT, though.
Oh, here it goes.
Now, see, we just hit on a good level right there.
Okay, no, so we both be the UT? Because I went to UT. So where did you go?
I went to the University of Tennessee. the UT. You know,
I've never heard anybody. We watch you watch the games. Have you heard anybody on any of these games say, "I went to the University of Tennessee"? No, you maybe the Ohio State.
The vibes that you brought over was so good. I was like, man, I can't wait to meet this brother, man.
I just was confused because you said I went to UT, and I'm like, oh, nice, you went to Texas, but then you.
That's my man.
You see what he's doing?
So let's lock it up then.
Yeah.
It's all.
It's going to be fun.
We both went to UT. Okay, is that fair?
We went to schools that resemble.
Yes, they both went to UT.
Each other.
One's the real one. Y'all can talk about that later.
I'm just trying to throw you one there, man.
But I don't really want it like that. I don't really want it like that. He know I don't want no bone like that. He won't let me throw him a little bone like that.
What bone were you trying to throw me?
I'm just saying. I extended my hand.
I wasn't an olive branch. I don't know what that was.
Now what happened to my hand on the way over?
that was a rotten.
I'm just,
you know what I mean?
saying.
This is, but you know what? This is a nice little
Oh,
preview.
I wanted, Don, I was about
of
to go
Texas
somewhere,
and the
and I didn't want to because I really would have ruined the whole conversation. Talk about where Tennessee ranks in the SEC.
Hey, we just like you guys. In the bottom of the dumpster trying to climb our way
we
out.
both went to UT. Can we just agree on that?
I agree with it.
Yeah.
This is just for now.
I hate that song. But this is why people outside of like the southern region don't understand college football like this, right? Like this is why it's great.
Yeah.
To be able to have conversations.
Right. And I was a basketball guy, but I still feel so wholeheartedly the same way he does about his schools.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ramon is great. Ramon Foster is great. And even Dan Williams. I didn't even
Big
like
Dan.
Big Dan. I played with Dan Williams in Arizona. Yeah. And I didn't realize like that was the first time I heard someone outside say UT.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think about it that way, right?
Which
like
is funny.
everywhere to me, Texas was UT.
Yeah.
Then he was like, and Dan, Dan, real high pitch boy. Hey, man. Hey. He was like, I went to the real UT, and I'm like, huh?
No, I mean, like,
what do you mean? Yeah, I was confused.
That will be a thing. Because I don't think either
thing.
fan base understands that. Because I went somewhere in Texas, my kid was taking a visit somewhere, and people were saying calling Texas UT, and I didn't comprehend that.
You know what, though? I think he hit on something key, though, man. Like, those guys got to really change their mentality going in the SEC because even with them being in the Big 12 and Texas being who Texas is, as many places you go and they're hated, they got a fan base that travels in their love.
Yes.
That's not going to be able to travel like that in the SEC because they only got their own fan bases, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be hated like that, man. And I don't know if you guys can be hated. We okay.
Well, we have to learn. We have to learn it. You're so right. We have to learn that. And that's what Sark was trying to bring. Like you have to learn that. Like if you want to win, Don, you're a parent, right? So like there are certain things like children need to be guided, right? It's not just like I'll just let my kid run around and just see if it works out.
Right.
No, it's not going to work out, right? Like there are certain principles that you know what I mean? So it's like hey, like if we want to win, there are certain principles that align with winning.
Yeah.
Right? Some of those things are discipline, trust, loyalty, right? Hard work. These things align with winning.
Yeah.
If you don't get aligned, you will not be successful. Right. And so like Don as a parent, right? Like you are helping align your child so that they will be successful in this world. You've experienced life. You understand things, right? I'm a parent as well. If you want to be successful in college, in professional, in anything, there are certain principles, right? There's a guy I played with, Adrian Wilson, for the Arizona Cardinals. And he played for like 8-9 years. He's an executive now for Arizona. And I was like, dude, how do you
almost
be great?
Jacksonville.
Bingo, almost Jacksonville. Should have been Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I'm not going to go there.
We have to break. But
anyways, the long and short of it is he talked about just hard work and dedication.
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce or pill or other. It's just hard work and dedication. Some people are afraid of the work, right? Yeah. And we get it in the media industry. Like, Don, I couldn't imagine the things you've had to climb and the obstacles you've had to go through, right? But you have to hard work, dedication, then there's other stuff you have to be able to maneuver to grow. And so you get it. Maybe come talk to our team. Come talk to UT. Come talk to UT.
I think Slade
you should go talk to Texas. You should go talk to.
Yeah, we got Don Davenport saying the real UT.
Where you going after this? Because she gonna go with you.
No,
you're supposed to go home. So you might as well take her to Texas. Can't come back to Tennessee acting like this.
Tennessee is not good.
Acho, I know a lot of.
Okay, no. Hendon Hooker is real. Okay. Right? Hypo, legit.
Okay.
Y'all could put up points.
Okay.
They moved up like 100 spots in offense.
15 players not on scholarship. We were under the limit and still did what we did. But what you saying?
But I'm just saying, like should I go there, Don?
Texas should not be in the position they are.
We got
before
people looking
Tennessee
at their time. Like when you talk about the teams in the SEC, big bad SEC.
It means more.
You mentioned Alabama. Oh, it just means more. How was y'all's bowl game record? So you talk about Alabama. You talk about sometimes LSU championship a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
You talk about Georgia, obviously. You list teams, and oftentimes Tennessee's just not on that list.
Well,
it's not Missouri.
Neither is Texas.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see the growth.
If y'all didn't have your own network, I'm gonna be real. Y'all probably would have been banished.
Well,
y'all would have
Texas
been
isn't on
banished
the
from college
list right now
football.
either.
Acho.
I mean, Texas has this is my
You can hear me.
question
I know
to
you
you.
can hear me.
We have to break. We're like
Okay,
way past.
all right.
But this is my question
won't
to
stop.
you.
Hold on, Don.
The
Before you ask,
recruiting
are you
classes-
upset? Are you still upset with me about the spring game? Is this?
Yes, I am.
I'm sorry.
I
Acho,
am.
that's what started all of this.
Don,
That did start
I
all
am
of
legitimately sorry.
Oh no.
I did not know.
No.
I am so sorry.
No, it's
it
all
will
good.
not happen again.
Hey,
It's
Sam,
all-
thanks for coming on,
Yes.
man. We appreciate it. It was
How
fun.
about this?
Dog,
When
don't do it to me.
Texas is in the SEC, we'll have you back on for
Got
a
to.
full segment.
That's like 2025, but I appreciate it.
You know
Boy,
it's
y'all
not gonna
running,
take
boy. You
that
can't run
long.
that long.
I'm ready.
Y'all can't run
We've
that
been
long.
ready. What
Y'all
is
can't run that long.
Tell me
The contract has been signed. Y'all walking in there.
Tell me one thing good about Tennessee.
Thank y'all for Rick Barnes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to
Rick
extend
Barnes.
my. Look, y'all, I'm extending my hand. He won't
We
shake it.
have to break.
Okay, we're going to break.
Todd Fuhrman coming up next. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Acho.
104.5 The Zone.
Oh, Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. Speaking of Ron Slay,
What up?
doesn't Ron Slay have some sort of produced intro that we might need to play here?
Why wouldn't you?
Hey, I'm in the building. Best believe I'm in the building. Better be ready. I'm in the building.
Ready on roll, I got no roof.
Time for the show.
Yes, indeed. And I'm riled up, man, thanks to Acho. I was already riled up, but he just, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for Texas to get to the
Mr.
SEC.
Two-Tone wrote, that exchange between Slay and Sam Acho is everything good about sports. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Because y'all are really kind of getting into it.
Like, you need that.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And then can get up after, you know what I mean, hit each other up, man, let's go get a bill.
That
what I mean?
is.
Y'all did hug it out after, so there you go.
Yeah, that's
I
my
mean,
man.
you went upside down, like, hook him, and you could see his body, like, quake.
Man, he took a stab at us, man. You know what I mean? He's like, hand the hooker good, and you know what I mean? Everybody else, what else you got? Like, man, thank you for Barnes, man. Move on. You're welcome for Shaka Smart.
That's just a nice preview of what Texas in the SEC is going to be, and I am here for it.
Well, it was funny because he said they've been down for 10 years, and then when I said, what's Texas done? And he was like, what do you mean what's Texas done? I'm like, you just said it. That's why they've been flipping coaches.
The crazy thing
okay,
in
but
all
Texas,
of it is, though,
well, I'm not going to get
is when they got their attention focused on us, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be people like Babs that went to Auburn come over and club them on the head. You know what I mean? Then Arkansas going to club them. Then Florida. See, they're going to be so worried about Tennessee.
Then the two UTs unite? Is that what you're saying?
No, never. Not a day on earth. Not a day on earth. No, I mean that with every bit of my soul. Never. Listen, man, Tennessee was playing Texas, man, in basketball, and I got 3 messages. Not text messages, not calls and leaving a voicemail. Finding a way to leave me. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't want no FaceTime. They found a way to leave me a video message. 3 different players that went to Texas. The hate is there, and it's going to stay there.
because they said that's the real UT.
So real quick, we got a few minutes. Todd Fuhrman's busy. He's got things going on. We missed him on Wednesday. He's right here right now. And Todd, this line has been popping back and forth, like 3.5 to 4.5, depending on where you go. It might be 4 today. What are we looking at here with the Super Bowl?
Yeah, more or less 4. Pretty much the consensus across the board out here in the desert. And when you look at a lot of other shops, the ones that did get to 4.5 and wanted to hold their ground weren't able to. There's been a lot more support for the Bengals than initially anticipated. When you talk about this Cinderella run they put together, Joe Burrow and company 6-0 straight up and 6-0 against the number of the last 6. If you're looking at season-long metrics, you can't possibly make a case for the Bengals, but maybe they have something special going on, and they're able to complete what we thought would have been an improbable feat when they started the season at 150-1 to win the Super Bowl.
See, the public going behind the Bengals, that makes me want to go the other way. But before we get into that, how has the public done this year in the NFL?
I mean, the public typically will struggle throughout the course of the season. When you look at some of the exotic bet types that we saw throughout the postseason, one of the bigger wins for the sports books was actually the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Kansas City Chiefs outright. Kansas City, of course, tied into a lot of money line parlays and teasers, blew up a number of exotic wagers last weekend the same way that Green Bay performed that feat the week before. But this is a game that we talk about all season long in the National Football League and across all sports, where the public will get their say because there's only so much professional money to go around. This is one of the tighter numbers that you're going to see on a sporting event throughout North America, and it's why you see more 7-figure bets come in on the Super Bowl than you will on NFL or college football throughout the course of the season in total.
Where do you have this point spread?
I make the game 3.9. So that tells you exactly how I'm looking to try and approach it.
Right.
Unfortunately, the only angle that I'll take is a Rams money line ticket if the price were to trend down a little bit more. But as things stand right now, no investment on the side. And to be quite honest, I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting the 49ers against the Chiefs from a props perspective because I really think there would have been a lot more value and opportunity in that game than what the betting market has yielded so far in this one.
Well, I feel you. Todd, I'm going out on a limb, man. I'm going to create my own line. That's how confident I am. Leading up to the
I think you're going 6, aren't you?
I'm pushing mine to 6, Todd. I don't even, you know what? I think all the magic done. Ain't no more rubbing the lamp. The lamp done broke. Genie ain't popping out. You done used all your wishes up. You use your wish with Oakland. Use your wish with the Titans. Use your wish with Kansas City. How many people have you seen rub the Genie lamp and he pop out and say, oh, you know what? I forgot you got 4 wishes. It's it. Party over, Todd.
Hey, I mean, you know, we've seen weirder things happen in the past, and, you know, Joe Burrow has this entire city and much maligned fan base believing that they can accomplish the impossible. At the same time, the Rams were a team that caught a lot of buzz early in the year when they basically mortgaged the next 17 drafts to acquire Matthew Stafford and Von Miller. They didn't live up to some of their expectations throughout the course of the regular season, and they're just now finally starting to find a little bit of stride. But at the same time, this is a Rams team that was also down 17-7 going into the fourth quarter against the 49ers, and were able to complete the biggest comeback that we've seen in championship game history. So it's not as though the Rams have been an absolute offensive and defensive juggernaut. I think it'll be fascinating to see which quarterback wilts under the bright lights and which secondary player can step up, make the big play, and make himself a household name after Sunday is complete.
6, Todd. I said it. Can't nothing about that breakdown.
Todd, is there a prop or two that you like in this one?
Yeah, there are a couple props that I think are interesting, and some of these have moved a little bit, but I'll give you ones that still have quite a value, and the numbers haven't moved too much. One of which is Joe Mixon under his rushing total. That number should be upwards of 64.5 down to 62.5. I think anything in the low 60s offers a little bit of upside and opportunity. The one thing about Mixon, when you look at his usage levels, he's been out there primarily as a first and second down back, where they go to Samaje Perine on third down. So if the Rams see Mixon out there, they may key on him and force Joe Burrow to beat him over the top. I think Mixon's workload will be there, but I'm not sure he'll be the most efficient. When I look at the Rams, I think they'll have more time of possession than the Cincinnati Bengals as well. That's a prop that I think our last check was minus $1.40. Haven't checked in the last couple of hours. The Rams, a team that we talk about for a high-flying offense. We know about Cooper Kupp and what he brings to the table. But they're more than content to play keep away, run the football, especially into the three-man defensive front that's made this Bengals defense so successful this postseason. And when you're looking at, some of the other ancillary scoring props that are out there, I'll lay $1.15 that the result of the Bengals' first drive is a punt. Now, every book is worded a little bit differently, so caution people to read the fine print. But I think the Bengals will come out a little bit conservative. Wouldn't shock me if we get run, incomplete pass, and a punt on their opening series.
Todd Fuhrman, making time today. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
You got it, guys. Have a safe trip back to Nashville and enjoy the rest of your time on Radio Row.
Thanks, Todd Fuhrman, Bet the Board podcast. Get that where you get your podcast. Him and Payne Insider do a great job. When we come back, we'll visit with the great Kevin Harlan next on 104.5 The Zone.
Mortgage interest rates are in the twos, and we are saving our clients hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Let us assist you with an easy refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Ladies love Cool James.
D.O.
Yes!
This your guy.
It is my guy. I told you something was off with me today. I think it's 3 days in Los Angeles.
Dude, it's serious.
There's like some microbacterial thing that's gotten into my head. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. You always got my back, bro.
You better believe it. 10 toes down, baby.
Kevin Harlan coming up. Ramon Foster coming up. Trey Wingo coming up. Greg Cosell coming up. We got a lot still left in the tank.
Good. We got some substance coming up.
So do.
Hey,
see, that's why we got to balance.
There's nothing more substantive than Kirby's story to start the show.
I'm still shook from that.
By the way, guys, we had a caller that called in and said that Kirby could have avoided all of that if he would have just walked in and said, "I'm in the building."
So, you know what? Yeah, you got to announce when you're in the building, man.
So the crux of that story is one Valentine's Day, Kirby came in, his wife was on the phone, hung it up, said a curse word, and was like fidgeting. So he star 67, called it back. The guy answered false alarm, and he goes, "No, I'm home." And he got divorced 90 days later.
That quick.
I mean, that happened right at the
No
beginning
explanation needed or anything.
Wow.
Our coverage on Radio Row presented by Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Nashville's only full-service salon day spa gift boutique located in Cool Springs. USS, United Structural Systems, with over 25 years of experience. Homeowners trust USS. There's another game slate coming up this weekend. Vanderbilt at Tennessee.
Go Balls!
Tennessee's won 6 SEC games in a row. Vanderbilt's won 2 SEC games in a gotten.
Don't need to make it 3.
They're much better, obviously, than they've been the last several years.
They have been. They have gotten to jail. They've been able to jail. They've been able to lean on guys. They've been able to get to the foul line. That's the biggest thing. And we heard Will Wade talk about that game with LSU and Vanderbilt.
An hour after he was supposed to.
Yeah, when he wanted to play that little game.
Yeah.
But Vandy's done a terrific job. I think Stackhouse, man, has finally got guys playing the way he wants them to play. And kudos to him. They're defending. They're being able to be efficient and knock down shots when they're winning. Outside of that, they just got to always be the little brother. You know what? We'll always leave scraps on the table. We'll even cut the ends off our peanut butter and jelly and leave that for them so they can get good and full.
There you go. FPI.
That's how I'm feeling today. Yes.
I mean,
Trash Talk
what in
Friday.
the
It's
world
Trash Talk
kind
Friday.
of like analysis was that?
that was a bias analysis. That's what that was.
Is that what
that was a bias analysis, man.
FPI has Tennessee with a
– you know what I mean?
FPI has Tennessee with a 93.2% chance to win this basketball game. Tennessee won 68-60 in Nashville in January, but certainly a competitive game all the way to the buzzer. Tennessee's won 9 in a row against Vanderbilt and 11 out of 12 in the basketball series. So that game's coming up at 5 o'clock on Saturday. You can catch it right here on 104.5 The Zone.
And the reason I went on that rant is because I was going to give them props, and I couldn't think of the kid's name. But ever since they got Rodney Chapman back, okay, here's the real analysis. Ever since they got Rodney Chapman back, he has been playing really well. You know, he's the guy that went off against LSU, shot the ball really well. So now you're having another guy in the backcourt to help Pippen. Really alleviates a lot of pressure. The guys that had to step up at first wasn't those type of guys. Those are reserve guys. This guy's a guy that starts. So now you got him, you got Scottie Pippen Jr., and you got Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright is always a problem. You know, he always has good games. It seems to be against Tennessee. But I honestly do believe.
He takes these long, slow strides.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, he's at the rim.
Dude, he's the guy at Bethlehem Center. Just slow playing, just, getting you on his hip at the YMCA, put you on his hip, do all the moves, and get buckets. So, I mean, kudos to them. I do think Tennessee's playing with a different focus right now because of that win on the road in Mississippi State, which was a tough win. You always need something in the season to keep rallying. Every about 6 or 7 games, you need something to refocus you. And I think Olivier happened to do that.
I mean, you've had a show so far. I mean, you just broke down that Tennessee Vandy game. You admitted from a biased perspective. You went horns down to Sam Acho sitting right across the table from you.
Yeah.
Like you were tired of all this UT talk.
Yeah, and you know what, man? At some point, man, you got to draw the line. You got to tell the people, listen, this is who I am. It's Trash Talk Friday, and this is the line I stand on.
You also went Brian Harsin as like Fredo in The Godfather.
Yeah, at some point, Michael's going to kiss him and tell him, I love you, Fredo. I loved you.
Or he's going to shoot him in the boat.
In the boat. One of the two. Like, you need to get shipped off to Vegas.
You have been on point today.
Yeah, I mean, what's up, Babs? I'm here. What's happening? What's that? Rest in peace of Santonio Beard, man. My boy got buried today, so that's where I'm at.
Oh.
I'm talking trash for my boy. He had trash talking to him. So I'm working with him today.
And you delivered a video message.
I did.
Of hope, right?
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely. And then
that was hard to do, wasn't
it? Then my boy Pastor Mitchell got up there and told the people, I told Ron Slay when I saw the video last night, I'm going to play it. And when I hung up, I should have told him, man, you know this video too long. So
I didn't know Pastor Mitchell was Pastor Mitchell.
Yeah,
like, I knew him as Cleety at Hillsborough High School.
Breedy and Cleety,
So he
they had twin brothers.
No, he didn't. He laughed about it in front of the congregation. So thanks, Brianna. Appreciate it. But that's my man. That's my man.
I love that you hang out with Hillsborough guys, man.
Hey, man, I hang out. Man, listen, I told y'all I'm a Tennessee mutt. Like, I was born in Memphis. Bred in Chattanooga, and then raised in Nashville, and on all sides, east, west, north, and got plenty of friends out south. So it's hey.
Spent a little time in Knoxville too,
and dropped them in Knoxville. Learned to drop them. Anybody with pets know what I mean.
Ron Slay at Ron Slay 35 on Twitter at Don Davenport TN.
What's up, Babsy?
Doherty.
You kind of did this though, Babs.
I did. I started it.
Like you started this, and I was just cool, you know what I mean. But then I saw Babs digging in, and I saw him get back at the Babs, and I was like, you know what? I'm in the SEC. I want something. Let me get a lick in real quick, Babs. And that's what's gonna happen to Texas in the SEC.
Yeah.
They're gonna be focused on something else, not knowing that each Saturday, man, it ain't. That's why it means more. It's different than the Big 12 and the Pac-12. All that. SEC, every single game, it's a different experience.
You know what's funny is that spring game when I first met, because I didn't know Sark. I had not covered an Alabama game when Sark was at Alabama. So that spring game was the first time I had met him. We did our coaches' calls on Zoom and all that. So first time I actually met him in person on the field prior to the spring game. I was just chatting with him and, just like, hey, I really enjoyed talking to your players, like this guy, this staff, whatever, just kind of chatting. And he was like, yeah, I said, I missed you while you were at Alabama, but the last 3 years I've covered games on SEC Network. Because he was like, I haven't met you before. Like, what have you been doing kind of thing. And so I was like, so I've missed you over to SEC Network. Alabama's not on SEC Network ever because they're always a primetime game.
And even if they were, you're not talking to coordinators.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, and so he was like, trying to turn it into the SEC here.
Yeah.
And that was prior to the news coming out that Texas was joining the SEC.
That's funny.
So I wonder if he knew that it was coming.
Feels
one,
that way, yeah.
Or two, it was interesting to hear Acho just say that's what he's doing. He's trying to transform it into an SEC-looking program.
That's another interview you need to go back and check. I mean, Acho and Slay went head to head.
And he spoke
4 feet apart.
And he was honest all the way until the point you asked him about what Texas has been the last
Well, I mean, he was just dogging Tennessee. We know where Tennessee is.
I mean, we've been trash. It's cool, but we're back. You know what I'm saying?
We had one decent season, and we're back,
We're
baby.
back, baby. That's right. That's we're climbing out the ashes. But guess what, though, Babs? Don't you believe that's the same thing you two, Mayor? That it is a different look, and I think that was a lack of what Tennessee had also. The players on the field look different when you've in the SEC. You're in the SEC program, to me, than any other program. Like when you get to travel all over the nation to watch other teams play. It's a different.
Trenches.
It's a different look in the trenches.
Trenches are just different.
Yeah.
Size and speed of that size. Because I got a good look this year at a lot of different conferences, which was kind of fun after being in the SEC for 3 years, you know?
Right.
I mean, you saw Kayvon Thibodeau at Oregon.
Sure did.
He went on a long rant about how he would never go to Alabama and all this stuff
he's missing
about
out
the
there.
SEC.
He was wandering around here on Radio Row. I was hoping we could grab him, but his schedule didn't work out.
His handler came over while we had Warren Moon, about to have Warren Moon on, and he said, I've got Kayvon Thibodeau. I was like, I'd love to put him on. He goes, great, let's do it. I was like, no, I've got Warren Moon. He goes, this guy could be the number 1 pick in the draft. I'm like,
I heard him say that.
This guy's Warren
Did
Moon.
you hear me say that Warren Moon is sitting, and I will take him 100 times out of 100 over Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me remove Warren's gold jacket. Now, what'd you say?
Yes,
Excuse me.
exactly.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the
Plus,
way,
it's the-
we covered the
That's
Titans
what I was about
Oilers
to say.
franchise,
Like, come on,
dude.
now wait a minute.
Did you hear that guy say that?
I
No,
did hear him
I
say,
didn't.
I heard him, but I
I
thought
was
he
chatting
talking
with
about
Warren
something
at that time.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about
I
something
thought that
else.
was funny. All right,
That is really funny. And by the way, just real quick about Thibodeau, I don't know if you saw, it was McShay that came out with kind of a negative,
Yeah, he
like
did.
pre-draft grade on him. And it's funny because after I worked that Oregon game, I was chatting with Cosell about him too, and I said they moved him around everywhere. I said, am I wrong in saying that? I felt like they didn't need to if he is the player that they say he is, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Thibodeau in the draft in the next level.
You shouldn't need to find mismatches for him, right? Like he should just go out there and dominate.
He should be able to. I mean, they play Cal.
Right. So this whole Bengals thing, like I want to buy into the Joe Burrow and everybody's for the underdog. Like 63% of the bets are on the Bengals, right? Like the public loves this story and this team. But I just can't, man. I keep looking at the trenches and thinking about Aaron Donald and Von Miller and all those guys going against that offensive line who says they're the best in the NFL, but we all know they're not. Man,
You feel different too, huh?
Yeah, I might go with your Rams -6.
I'm just
Okay, that's a little dramatic.
Okay, 5.5.
I want no hook.
I hate to tell y'all, I'm with you.
You're with the Rams?
I'm with the Rams.
Yeah.
And this is why, though, because I just look at what this Titans defense was able to do to them, at their ability to get to Burrow. Now, did it phase him? No.
Right.
But Ryan Tannehill's 3 picks, and I'm not saying they're all on Ryan Tannehill, but the fact that they turned the ball over as many times as they did, that's why the Bengals won. That's why they had the chance at the end. I don't see Matthew Stafford and the Rams doing that.
Right.
For as much as everybody says that, oh, well, Matthew Stafford will throw a pick. Well, yeah, he will. But if you look at what he's done this year in this offense and what they're doing, and maybe Cosell can jump into it too, like perhaps not all of his picks this year are on him, which we have that conversation often when we're looking at Ryan Tannehill.
Yep.
So,
well, but also, like, his ability to throw interceptions comes in large cases, according to Cosell, and it makes complete sense, in his desire to just let it rip.
Yeah.
And so, like, the things that make him great also throws an errant bullet out there every once in a while, right?
Yeah. Spot on. And from the defensive side, like, I can't wait to ask Cosell. I know what Donald and Von Miller have been doing, but it's the other guys up front too. And I can't remember, was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? It was either Coach Mack or Cosell that mentioned Gaines and Robinson and was talking about them. Like, dude, you got to keep an eye on them too. Like, we know who the stars are, but these dudes getting busy too. So
and to your point, we talked a little bit about this game with him last week, and obviously we'll get into more detail today. But that's kind of his take on Stafford, and I'm with him. I mean, he threw a bad ball. There's no doubt, and they probably shouldn't be here because that ball should have been picked off. But you know what? It wasn't.
It wasn't.
I just think Zach Taylor and what they've been able to do, or what they're scheming or planning to do to protect Joe Burrow and because it doesn't matter how much freaking swagger Joe Burrow has. If he's on his back, he can't do anything.
Ask Kansas City.
Yes, so they're exactly. So if they can run the ball, maybe they'll be okay. But my take is that Taylor and Joe Burrow aren't going to be able to do enough to give him enough time to let him impact the game, and it doesn't matter how good the Bengals defense is.
I hate that we missed out on Kevin Harlan. We'll get him on again sometime. But coming up, our buddy Ramon Foster, and more than a buddy, family.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ramon Foster, big savagery. J. Martin Ramon, weekdays 6 to 10. You can catch him right here on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster's take on what's coming up in the Super Bowl next on 104.5 The Zone.
It shouldn't be that hard to get $52,000 in cash. Apply online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Brent Doherty, Ron Slade, Don Davenport. Will Bowling's dancing, or he was dancing. And he said he quit because he didn't want all the girls to flock over here at once.
And they stayed away.
Why are you laughing, Davenport?
Because y'all know I have zero rhythm, and I have more rhythm than Will Bowling.
Buck Rising sitting over there. Is Buck's mic even on?
The Buck Rising.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's not Buck Rising.
I think we should combine 3 shows real quick. Buck, what's up?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Hello.
There's Kirby.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
You want me on there too?
Yeah, I mean, this is
disorienting.
And now we've got Ramon Foster. Big
Savagery.
Ramon.
We got 3 shows all up in one
Ramon,
space.
do not go get your hair cut at a woman's house on Valentine's Day.
What?
Hi, Ramon.
What does that even mean?
You missed it.
Yeah.
My first year being married, I found out on Valentine's Day as I was getting my hair cut that it was Valentine's.
Not now, Kirby. Ramon is here.
Ramon, what's up?
Not much, man. Listen to you guys crush it all week. All I can say is, man, you guys are some stars, and y'all won't leave me again.
Well, the best.
Yeah, we need you out here, Ramon.
The best story, though, that came out of this week was Kirby, also another Valentine's Day story, saying that he learned that his wife was having an affair on Valentine's Day and got divorced 90 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Man, well, that was enough time for him to go on 90 Day Fiance, too. Love that show.
Oh, my God,
You
Kirby,
would
you
pull
would be
that.
perfect on 90 Day Fiance. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
They're
but
doing that.
don't play with me. You know I'm into all the degenerate stuff. That's right up my alley, man. I'm going overseas thinking they can find love in 90 days, and all they want to do is just link up. Nah, man. Well, let me watch their world crumble.
So Ron Slade famously has his own set of intros that we play from time to time. Ramon Foster also has his own intro. Hunk, do you have it?
Who the hell are you?
Ramon.
You know. Say my name.
Ramon.
You what? Say my name. I don't have a damn clue who the hell you are. Yeah, you do.
Do you respect the bad guy? Ramon.
I don't know what they talking about. They ain't got a clue who he is. I know who he is.
We all know who he is. He's Ramon Foster. Ramon, I'll tell you this from being out here in L.A., and we haven't talked with Buck about this. I'm curious to get your take too, Buck. But the more I want to buy into the story of Joe Burrow and the upset-minded Bengals, the more I think, man, this game's still won in the trenches, and the Rams have a distinct advantage there, and I'm going Rams.
Man, Brent, I'll say this, and gang, like, this week has been one of the most confusing weeks, I think, in all the Super Bowls I've ever watched, even been a part of, because this is the one year in which there is no proven guys, there are new guys, there's a new team, there's a newly rebuilt team. You got one team on the end of the spectrum that paid for a whole lot of free agents. You got one that's got a bunch of homegrown guys that have never been in this position either as far as the Super Bowl goes. Like, I picked the Rams to win. But a part of me is saying I do think Cincinnati can beat them at the same time. It's so many unknowns. In recent history, this got to be one of the most untraditional Super Bowls in the last 20, 25 years.
Listen here, Savagery. Now, you my dog. You know what I mean? I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl with you. You're going to get some good steed. I got wings and all that. You know what I mean? Boy going to lay that shoulder on the grill. You know what I mean? Make it shoulder in a little bit. You know what I mean? I know my boy going to make that famous little coleslaw.
Where the hell was our invite?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, come on now, Buck. I see that address.
But guess what? We ain't sending no addresses out there to show up. So, Buck, you don't show up?
It's true. I'd flake. That's true.
See what I'm saying?
I'd flake.
He gets sauce all over his jumpsuit, you know?
At least he's honest.
Hey, Savage, this is what I'm thinking
I
of,
would
man.
flake, yes.
The game in the trenches, man. Like, I always feel, and I don't know if this is me being biased with you being who you are and me knowing the game and watching the game, and I'm always hanging around linemen, whether it's offensive or defensive. Man, you know what I mean? All the way dating back, you know? So I know the game's won there, man, and I've been programmed to know that it's won there. If I look at it on paper and I take it from what it's worth from watching the last 2 games, how could I not go with the Rams?
I'm with you, but the other part of is the same reason why the Titans have hired Tim Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cincinnati has a legit passing game. I think wins and losses are more determined by turnovers than they are anything else. The way Cincinnati offensive line has gotten beaten up all year long, the way, looking at the way the Rams marched down the field on Tampa Bay to beat them. The passing games is there for both of those teams. The real issue is going to come down to who's going to turn the ball over. I'd like to say it's going to be Joe Burrow, but Buck, I think I was listening to your show earlier today that said when he's getting pressure, he connects almost 90% of the time, or him and Matthew Stafford connect like 90% of the time. I'm thinking to myself, well, dang, they don't miss as far as that goes. So the trenches, you got Joe Mixon on one side, Cam Akers on the other, with two, at least run-savvy offensive lines for the most part. Joe Mixon, to me, gives more of a dynamic side of the run game than I think Cam Akers does at this moment right here. He runs well. He catches the ball well. He just fully is one of those guys that compete very good under contact and in space and through the gap, too. So, again, I'm saying the Rams, but a part of me is tugging me to the other side to say, no, Cincinnati can actually pull this thing off. And then looking at the defensive side, too, for Cincinnati, they got some stuff. We had Trey Smith on earlier today, and that's the one thing that he pointed out. I was like, man, Cincinnati's got a tricky defense. And I knew exactly what that meant. That meant you can sleep on them if you want to, but that's when they'll get you with turnovers. That's when they'll get you with sacks, and that's when they'll have you going 3 and out, which is what they kind of did to Kansas City in the second half. A little bit of that for a good bit of that game, so where they can get back into contention with them. I want to believe in Stafford, but you guys saw the way he crapped the bed against the Titans. He's had other times in which he's just going like, okay, is that Detroit coming out? Where's Megatron or somebody to save him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So football is intricate, it's weird, it's more silly, I think, than any other sport, because you got 11 guys that got to be on the same page, or most of them have to be on the same page. Basketball, one guy can take over the game.
Yeah.
We look at, the NBA and the trade command that James Harden, he demanded. Like, there was one guy that demanded 2 first-round picks and, 3 other dudes.
Right.
Like, football, that doesn't necessarily happen unless it's a quarterback. And even still, people look at it sideways. It's a normal thing in other sports except for football. And I think Cincinnati's got that hang together, momentum, ride with me kind of mindset. So, yeah, Savage and Brandon, whenever y'all get back to Tennessee, I'll lock that down to probably 5 or less.
Yeah.
Whenever
45.
To the game, because I feel like they always got a shot. And that sucks for me to say that, being that I played in friggin' Pittsburgh.
I know you hate him. At Ramon Foster. So I'm Rams, Dawn's Rams, Slay's Rams. Your Rams, but with kind of a caveat. Buck Rising, where are you on this?
Bengals.
Yeah.
Because Matt Stafford he threw the death pick, Ramon. He threw it right to Jaquiski Tart. He dropped it. They should not be in this Super Bowl.
But they are.
They are in the
shouldn't be
Super
there
Bowl.
either.
I love
but
it.
Listen to me, all right? The Bengals have had no business in either of the 3 games that they've won, and I will tell you that this game they have no business in either. They'll win.
3 shows in 1. Love it. At Ramon Foster, at Buck Rising. We've got another hour. Appreciate you, Ramon. Joe Hunt, take it back at the station.
No doubt, Babs, and don't get sensitive about Auburn.
I hung up.